Some conspiracies are so disturbing, so sinister, that they sound more like the plot of a dystopian thriller than actual history. But when the classified files surface, the truth becomes undeniable. Welcome to the Unknown Archive. Today, we delve into the chilling depths of MKNAOMI, the dark, lesser-known sibling of MKUltra, a top-secret program designed not to control minds, but to destroy bodies. A project cloaked in deception, shrouded in secrecy, and rooted in a grim obsession with biological warfare. To understand MKNAOMI, we must first revisit its infamous counterpart MKUltra. Officially sanctioned in the early 1950s, MKUltra was a CIA mind control program aimed at developing techniques for interrogation, manipulation, and psychological warfare. It was a cocktail of psychological torment, hypnosis, and heavy doses of LSD. But as twisted as MKUltra was, its sibling, MKNAOMI, ventured into far more lethal territory. The name MKNAOMI sounds almost benign, but it was a code name for a program that weaponized biological and chemical agents. While MKUltra sought to manipulate the mind, MKNAOMI sought to cripple and kill. Officially active from the 1950s until the early 1970s, MKNAOMI was a joint operation between the CIA and the U.S. Army Special Operations Division, SOD, at Fort Detrick, Maryland. Its purpose? To research, develop, and stockpile a terrifying arsenal of deadly agents. Anthrax, botulinum toxin, and other biological horrors. The logic behind this biological arsenal was simple and chilling. In a world gripped by Cold War paranoia, the fear of Soviet biological warfare loomed large. If the enemy could use pathogens and poisons against American forces, then the U.S. needed to be ready to retaliate or even strike first. The psychological environment of the time, fueled by fear of communism and an ever-present threat of nuclear war, made such extreme measures seem justifiable to those orchestrating these programs. National security was the ultimate justification, allowing moral boundaries to blur and ethical standards to be disregarded. The collaboration between the CIA and the military wasn't just about developing these weapons, but also about perfecting their deployment methods. Disguised as harmless everyday objects, these deadly devices could be used in covert assassinations or sabotage missions. The CIA even developed a poison-tipped umbrella and modified pens capable of delivering a fatal dose of toxins. In some cases, the line between experimentation and operational use became indistinguishable, as suspected double agents and foreign enemies reportedly became unwitting victims of these biological weapons. MKNAOMI's operations extended far beyond the confines of Fort Detrick. There are reports suggesting that covert testing of these biological agents occurred in unsuspecting populations, both domestically and abroad. The possibility that American citizens unknowingly became test subjects, breathing in aerosolized toxins or consuming contaminated products, raises questions about the ethics and accountability of those in power. The extent of these covert tests may never be fully known, as many of the documents were deliberately destroyed when the program was officially terminated. But as history would reveal, this defensive research took a far darker turn. The experiments weren't confined to controlled environments or theoretical planning. They involved real people, often without their knowledge or consent. Reports suggest that CIA agents carried disguised vials of lethal toxins to be used against suspected double agents or political targets. These substances could be slipped into food, drinks, or even applied to everyday objects, invisible, untraceable, and deadly. Among the most infamous substances developed under MKNAOMI was a shellfish-derived toxin known as saxitoxin, a neurotoxin so potent that just a minuscule amount could cause paralysis or death. The program also developed special delivery devices, pens, syringes, and even modified inhalers that could deliver a fatal dose without leaving a trace. Documents revealed in the 1970s exposed a chilling reality. The CIA had developed an assassination manual detailing covert ways to eliminate enemies, with MKNAOMI's creations at the heart of these methods. One of the most notorious examples of MKNAOMI's work involved Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, the same twisted mind behind much of MKUltra's experiments. Gottlieb, known as the Black Sorcerer, was a biochemist fascinated by the boundaries of human endurance and mortality. His role extended beyond mind control to crafting chemical and biological weapons designed to incapacitate or eliminate targets. Gottlieb's fascination with poison and pathology led him to test toxins on animals and, allegedly, on unwitting human subjects. There are accounts that political prisoners and detainees in foreign countries became test subjects for these lethal substances. Although direct evidence is scarce, conveniently destroyed or lost, the implications are chilling. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of MKNAOMI is the shroud of secrecy that protected its operatives. When the program was officially terminated in the early 1970s, many of its documents were destroyed. Testimonies of those who knew too much were silenced or discredited. Even the congressional investigations that sought to uncover the truth were met with resistance, redactions, and layers of obfuscation. Yet, fragments of the truth managed to slip through the cracks. Declassified files revealed that MKNAOMI's reach extended beyond military research facilities. Hospitals, psychiatric institutions, and even universities were allegedly involved, often under the guise of medical research or vaccination programs. What was presented as public health initiatives may have been cover stories for covert experimentation. In addition to the biological and chemical agents developed, MKNAOMI reportedly explored methods of delivering these toxins in ways that would maximize chaos and confusion. Devices like poison-tipped darts, aerosol dispersal mechanisms, and even contaminated cigarettes were allegedly conceived to discreetly target individuals without raising suspicion. These methods, combined with psychological manipulation tactics from MKUltra, formed a terrifying arsenal of covert warfare. Moreover, the impact of MKNAOMI extended far beyond the immediate era of its operation. Some researchers argue that the ethical breaches and scientific advances made during this time influenced future biological warfare research, with echoes seen in the controversies surrounding biodefense programs in the modern era. The blurred line between defensive research and offensive capabilities raises questions about whether the spirit of MKNAOMI truly ever ended. The shadow of MKNAOMI lingers, an unsettling reminder of the lengths governments can go in the name of security and control. The idea that a democratic nation could pursue such a twisted agenda, weaponizing disease, exploiting the vulnerable and covering its tracks, is a grim testament to the darker side of human nature. But as always, the question remains, how much of MKNAOMI's work truly ended with its termination? Were all the documents really destroyed? Or do remnants of these bioweapons still lie hidden in classified vaults, waiting to be unearthed? Could similar programs still be operating under new names with new justifications? The truth may be buried, but the echoes of MKNAOMI continue to reverberate through the corridors of power, a cautionary tale of unchecked authority and the terrifying potential of weaponized science. Thanks for watching The Unknown Archive. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, the darkest conspiracies are often those hidden in plain sight.